She woke up to the same cracked ceiling she had seen every morning for months. The same dim light spilling in through curtains that hadn't been drawn open in weeks. The same faint hum of the outside world that never seemed to belong to her. It wasn't just a room she was in, it was a cage. A cage made of routine, fear, and invisible chains. Every day was predictable, almost painfully so. She would wake up, stare at her phone for an hour without really seeing anything, then move through the motions of the day. Coffee, a quick bite to eat, a glance out the window. Sometimes, she'd catch sight of neighbors heading out, dressed for work, for school, for life. And in those moments, she would feel the ache in her chest grow sharper, the reminder that life was moving forward for everyone except her. The truth was, the prison she lived in wasn't only made of four walls. It lived inside her. It was the heaviness in her chest every time she thought about making a change. It was the voice in her head that whispered, "What's the point? You'll only fail." That voice had grown louder over time, until it was the only thing she could hear. Sometimes, she thought about who she used to be. She remembered a summer years ago, the air warm, the sky endless, her heart light. She remembered riding her bike down empty streets with the wind pulling her hair back, feeling unstoppable. Back then, the future seemed wide open. Back then, nothing felt impossible. But life has a way of closing in quietly. You don't notice the cage being built around you until one day you wake up and realize there's no space left to breathe. The days blurred together. Weeks passed without anything changing. She told herself that maybe this was just how life was, the same day repeated over and over. But deep down, she knew this wasn't living. This was surviving. And barely at that. There were moments, tiny moments, when she felt a spark of something else. A bird landing on her windowsill, tilting its head as if curious about her. The smell of fresh rain drifting in from outside. A stranger's laughter floating up from the street below. Little reminders that the world outside was still alive. That maybe, somewhere beyond these walls, she could be alive too. But those moments always slipped away. The spark would fade, smothered by the weight of her own thoughts. Then came the night when it all crashed down. She was lying in bed, staring into the dark, and she realized she couldn't remember the last time she had felt truly happy. Not the kind of fake smile you put on for others, but real, deep, soul-warming happiness. The thought hit her hard: what if this is all there is? The idea of spending years, maybe decades, in the same place, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, it terrified her. For the first time in a long time, she felt panic rise in her chest. She barely slept that night. Her mind kept replaying the same thought: if I don't change something, nothing will change. The next morning, she woke up to the same cracked ceiling, but something felt different. The air felt lighter. Or maybe she was just breathing a little deeper. She didn't have a plan. She didn't know where she was going. But she knew she couldn't spend another day letting the cage get smaller. So she stood up. She got dressed. She picked up her bag. And she walked out the door. The world outside felt strange, too bright, too loud, almost overwhelming. The streets seemed unfamiliar even though she had walked them before. Every step felt shaky, but it also felt like a step away from the person she had been. She didn't find instant freedom. The voice in her head still tried to pull her back. But with every street she crossed, with every breath of fresh air, she realized that the cage was never locked. The door had been open the whole time. She just needed to believe she could walk through it. Feeling trapped isn't always about where you are. It's about what you've convinced yourself you can't do. It's about the walls you've built inside your own mind. But walls can be torn down. Chains can be broken. And sometimes, all it takes to start is a single step, even if you don't know exactly where it will lead. Because the truth is, you aren't as trapped as you think.